This is a kind of a fringe topic. Fringe, as in saying it's not really popularized or glamorized in our culture. It's not glamorized, I'll say, even in religion. It's not glamorized in a lot of things. You would expect it to, you would see it. But here's the thing about it. You see it in entertainment, you see it in movies, you see it in all this as symbolism, but people don't pick up on it because it's like we have our consciousness right and it sits in the front of our brain. And if I turn my head, go to the back, and I'm speaking metaphorically, it's almost like we have a veil. It's like a spiritual veil almost, like we sit in between our consciousness, which is the frontal lobe of our brain in the front, and the back of our head, like the back is our subconscious. So it's like when things speak in symbolism in our movies, old cartoons, you can see it in old cultures and everything like that. They just spoke more in symbolism. And they speak more in symbolism in movies, entertainment, all the TV shows. You get it. That it's like almost like we're programmed not to pick up on that stuff. You ever notice that ever? And so I'm getting into a topic of what's fringe is. It's you ever heard the old saying of like Blue Bloods? Not the TV show. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the TV show. It's not really what you think it is by the name, but the whole term blue bloods really comes from the negative RH factor. And that you could even have that in your own family bloodline, because it essentially does go back to bloodline lineages and everything, not just royalty or aristocratic royalty, as in royal bloodline. But basically, blue bloods is termed because when someone is born and they only have to have one positive gene of negative RH, and the other one, if it's really more dominant and it's not recessive, because if someone's born with two negatives, then it'll be the negative. But if someone's even born with one positive gene, think of it like an antigen. And if you ever saw the movie Resident Evil, that movie is literally about blue bloods, the blue blood antigen. And think of it like the whole symbolism of the colors in that movie was about bloodlines, different color bloodlines or hybrid bloodlines. And the negative RH factor goes into like, you can think of them like what kind of people you think you encounter on a daily like this. Because remember, it's symbolism. Sociopathic people, narcissistic people, so on and so forth. And remember, in the movie, Alice had A positive blood. Majority of people, I think, probably do have A positive blood. But the negative RH factor picked up on the surface level of the blood. So if you know that, they have been using negative RH blue blood going into things of like cloning and all this stuff for a while, and I can even get into the topic about this black goo graphene topic as well. But it's just like, I feel like there's just so much stuff still being repressed, still friends, still not talked about, that needs to be talked about and shown. But it's been shown because just like when you write a book, I'll show you rather than tell you. Things aren't glamorized, they're fringe, they're hidden and stuff beneath the surface of our world and reality. So it's like nobody picks up onto it. Because then again, we're programmed not to read symbols anymore. We've lost that trait. Majority of people have. It's a dying or almost dead language. I would say go back to reading the symbolism again. What does the symbolism show? That's what I would say. Fire nice. Alchemy Rising. Out.